So there used to be something like filmmakers at Virginia Tech a while back, but it kind of went dormant. And so my friend Dominic, he was involved with that, and so I kind of came on, and we became friends, and we decided to reignite it. And so what that started with was a whole lot of I don't know what we should do, because filmmaking is something that you kind of have to have an idea of what you want to do and people who are going to support you. And it's not always easy to find people who are going to be supportive and there for you.
Right, one of my most memorable film experiences was when we did Oz at 8 a.m. because, first of all, I had to paint myself green with my face and my hands. That was a very interesting experience, and I also had to use like a witch nose, and it kept falling off when we were filming. Also, it was just really funny with everyone else in the cast. And basically, I don't know, it was just so funny seeing everyone in different costumes and just like having a good time, because we like went into like one of the bigger rooms here at Tech, and we had it all to ourselves, and we were just being really loud and obnoxious. It was just a lot of fun.
So that's been great fun. I always like the time crunch projects. It makes you output something quick, gets the creative flowing going. And I worked on this project called Lost and Found, where I pulled up my laptop, had my trusty tracker, and I made this piano piece completely with a computer keyboard. And I thought it came out quite well. What else have I done? I've done a couple of stop motion projects, or at least one actually, not a couple. And well, hopefully a couple.
So my history of film club, my first day of film club was the first film club my sophomore year during the spring semester. My buddy Tristan, he's my roommate, not anymore, he's engaged now. He's engaged, you know about that?
No, I know, like, congrats.
What? Congrats to him, man. No, he's got a job in Newport News. Anyway, he was in film club, and I always wanted to do it. I did stuff like that in high school, so I went with him. And then the first day, we had to go around and say what our favorite movie was, and I said my favorite movie was Surf's Up. And I really stuck to that. Like, I really stuck my flag in the ground and stood my ground. I Surf's Up was the best movie ever made. And I still feel that way. Kind of. I like the nice guys now. But
I started the film club with Daniel a couple years ago, and it makes me so happy to see that you guys still exist, that you guys are still making movies, because that's what matters. In a world where a club comes and goes every, 5 seconds, every semester, but you guys are still here, still swagging, still making stuff, that's the spirit. I'm so happy. Swag on.
Mitchell's real stunt work. So part of the thing was, at one point, the super powerful guy, I believe it was just a punch or something like that to the gut. Basically a strike to his center of mass that would just shoot him really far back. And one of our practical effects was like, okay, let's tie a rope around him and then yank as hard as possible to try to get as much distance as we can from him.
Played the brother in A Flare in the Dark, which was interesting. I got to channel some of my real life experience into playing that role. And then on the other end of the spectrum, when we did Super Nerd, I was dubbing the main antagonist, and we did not have a script, so I was shooting off the cuff, which was a lot of fun because I was dubbing someone other than myself, which is difficult to do.
The other films I worked on, all 4 of these here, which out of all 4 of them, my favorite, honestly, just the one that was a blast, was Pizza Guys 2. That was just fun to shoot, coming up with everything on the spot and being spontaneous, and having the actors actually, work with you. It was very nice to have that relationship with your actors and with your crew. Like, hey, let's try this. No, that didn't work. Let's try that. Oh, you broke your leg? Well, you're up. And it was a fun time. I guess the other, I don't know. I just film stuff and I enjoy it. I'll act occasionally. It just depends. But I usually enjoy being behind the camera.
Pizza Guys 2 is the first one I showed up in. I showed up in that 3 different times. I think I was only supposed to be in there once as the elevator person. I also show up in the background sitting on a bench. That's definitely my best acting I've ever done so far. People really thought I was just somebody sitting on a bench.
When we made metal, I was underneath these like huge I-beams, and we got a huge crash mat out because we had one scene where I was like a human survivor and I was getting dragged around by these robots. So we had like a camera up on top of the I-beams looking straight down at me, and then we had like other people on the other side of the crash mat, and they just like pulled me through underneath this huge I-beam. It was just super fun, like doing different stunts and stuff.
That was a real adventure. I know, like we actually rowed the canoes out to this like island, and like as we were going, we were like, "Oh, here, can you sail up to us and like pass me the donuts and stuff like that?" And you know, we were sitting on the beach, like putting like fake blood together and stuff like that. So I think it's those kind of moments that will always stick with me, because it's just something that had to happen in that moment. It's a product of that moment,